What's up, guys? Thanks for watching another one of my ride-along videos. Today we're working on this S5, very cool Audi. As you can probably see, it is snowing / raining. It's right in between. You may be able to see my breath. It's really, really cold. So I got my super thick gloves on today. We're gonna go over a few different things. First is we're gonna discuss why it's important and why I'm here doing the car in these not ideal situations. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And the second part we're going to talk about is kind of a sneak peek of some of my newest products that are coming out, specifically the wheel cleaner. I think actually a ton of you have sent me emails asking, when is the wheel regimen coming out? It's coming out very soon. The only thing is I'm completely insane, as most of you have probably noticed by now, and it's hard for me to release these unless they're perfect. But as I'm learning, it's just an ongoing process, and you know, I'm constantly updating and updating. So I'm thinking 2013, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to come out with the wheel regimen, and it's killer. So I'm going to show you a little sneak peek behind the scenes. We're going to talk about that. That's all coming up right now. Well, first things first, why am I detailing the car in these horrible conditions? It's probably in the low 30s, and clearly it's a bit of snow and kind of sleet going on here. And the first question, or the first answer is, well, I have a garage behind me, and it's an open garage. I wouldn't call it heated by any means, but essentially I'm going to clean it outside, wash it, do all that, because I don't want to get the floor of this customer's house or garage dirty. And then I'll pull it inside and be able to do a little bit more of the finer things, meaning interior, because obviously if it's raining or snowing, the interior is going to get dirty when you open the door. Pretty obvious. The second, kind of the bigger question, the broader thing, is why am I doing it now? The mentality of detailing over the years, and certainly owning a bunch of car washes and talking to people, is, in theory, the car wash industry sort of goes down in the winter. And I always thought that that was really funny, and people always wondered why did my business sort of stay steady or at least go up a bit in the winter? It's because I talk to my customers just like I would talk to anybody else out there and tell them, you know, it's a very simple concept when you're thinking about detailing a car, or more importantly, protecting it. So what am I wearing right now? I'm wearing, what, 3 or 4 jackets in my, you know, Gore-Tex or whatever this is to prevent the rain from getting in. It's the same idea. What's underneath here is my skin. Remember we talked about the car's paint is like skin. It has pores like skin, it breathes like skin, it needs to be maintained like skin. That's kind of my mantra that I keep talking to people when I see them at car shows. What better time to protect it than when it's really nasty, rain, sleet, snow, the kind of the winter, you know, bad attributes, if you will, that take place on the car. You gotta protect it at that point. So today just happens to be snowing. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, pull it inside. So the idea is to protect the car during the winter. And most people think, hey, it's 110 degrees out, the UV sun, you gotta put wax on, you gotta put sealant on, and you gotta protect it. And they're 100% correct. Likewise, almost even more, during this period of time, it's best to protect your car. So that's what we're gonna do. After I clean it out here, I'm not gonna do that on film because I'm gonna freeze myself. So I'm gonna try to go as quick as I can. And what I'm going to do is clean everything off, and we're going to show you my latest product on the wheels, and then we're going to put AMMO skin on here, and I'll shoot a little video while I'm doing that, because I'll be inside and my hands won't be so freezing cold. But one of the bigger tricks, I can probably shoot a 2-day video on how to clean your car in the winter, but one of my biggest tricks, and it's not that big of a deal, is just putting hot water in your bucket. So when you put your hands in there, you warm them up, you do the car, you get cold, you put it back in the bucket. Pretty simple stuff, but these little tricks here hopefully will help you maintain your car. More importantly, protect it over the winter months. Let me show you the thing I'm really stoked about is my latest products on the wheels. Let's get to it. All right, so what I'm really excited about is my my new wheel cleaner. So here we go. Take it. I don't have it in any of my bottles yet because we go through. As you can see, there's number 6, I have number 7, number 8, and we change a bunch of things, and I decide whether I like it or not. So it's a whole process. So this is my latest one, and let me know what you guys think. So first, give it a few squirts. That's 9. There you go. So everything is covered. What I'm going to do is get behind the camera again, and we'll do a little bit of a time lapse. I want to try to keep it as close as possible so you can see how much actual time is there. So I'm going to stall a little bit here. There is, you can see there's some color change going on already. I'll pull the camera in so you can see it. It should take roughly, I don't know, between 45 seconds and 75 seconds or so, 80 seconds for this to kind of get in and do its work. And then we'll go and I'll describe to you all the wheel products. I have a few little upgrades too with that. But let me grab the camera and show the color change and see how it's actually kind of chewing up all the brake dust. It's really exciting. So as you can see, there's pretty significant color change happening, and what it's doing, it's actually separating the brake dust and the metal filings from the rim. And these are pretty trash, I have to say. This customer doesn't clean them until I come around, which is good. But as you can see, it's been, I don't know, maybe 60 seconds or so, and this is what we've got so far. So I'm going to stop the tape and I'll wait another, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds and shoot it again, and then I'll clean it and you guys can see a before and after. Anyways, super stoked about this product. It's really working nicely the way that I wanted it, and we tweaked it here and there, and wow, this is really starting to look nice here. Anyways, on to the next one. All right, so this is looking really purple. Hopefully it's picking it up on camera, but right now the entire thing is completely purple, which is great, which means it's chewing up all the brake dust and we're good to go. It's been roughly, I don't even know, a minute and a half, maybe a minute, 45 seconds. And let's start cleaning it. All right, first things first, just recapping a lot of it because I know you guys know this. This is my wheel woolly. You always start at the top of the wheel so that the cleaner comes down. If you start at the bottom, it just seems like a waste of product, a waste of soap that's in here. So start at the top. Now I've gotten a ton of emails because you guys are very on point. Normally I'd be sitting in front of the wheel and being able to get it a little bit more. So it's a bit awkward because I'm trying to show you at the same time. But you've asked me, hey, what's the difference between this and this guy? And right off the bat, hopefully you can see, is just the width of it. So something like this, I'll use a skinny, what they call spoke wheel brush, and it'll get in these areas. See how it's getting back a little bit deeper than, let's say, than this guy. This guy just won't even go in all the way. It doesn't mean this is bad, because look, I can still kind of get into these areas, and it's really good. It's just, I do so many different rims that on occasion you need skinny ones. So that answers that question. I forget who asked me that, but these rims are exceptionally bad. Probably, I don't know, probably 3 to 4 months without actually daily driving and not actually cleaning them. So these are gross. Next, I have one of my favorite brushes. Now I figured out where these are made, and I'm getting them made for myself, and these will also come out too. I've had this brush in soapy water for probably 2 to 3 months, literally just soaking in there because I want to see if this breaks. Now listen, this is really heavy and solid, great brush. I use it all the time. Get some soap in there. Look at all that coming off. Now this is a great time to use this brush because it keeps your hands out of the water. Now I'm a big fan of putting on a wash mitt and going to town, but as of now, even with a little bit of warm water I have in here, my fingers are completely numb. I wonder why my wife thinks I'm nuts. So we're gonna keep doing this. I'm trying to do it quickly for you. Get in there. Now again, with wheels this bad, look at all the stuff coming off. Actually, let me grab the camera right now and show you. See all the stuff coming off? See how it's looking a bit, let me focus that. See how it's looking a bit better? Let me put you back up on the stand. All right. Holy cold, it's freezing. So here's the wheel once I finished. It's looking pretty good. I still got little areas here and there to finish, and I'll do that when I'm drying the wheel and putting tire shine and that sort of thing. But I wanted to give you an idea. I'm pretty happy with this result. I'm gonna change a few things here and there, but overall, I think I'm 80–90% there. So look for it in 2013. Send me any emails if you have any questions. I'm gonna finish cleaning the rest of this disaster up over here, and then I'll bring the camera in and I'll go over a quick tutorial on how to put AMMO skin on. I know you guys, most of you probably know what that is, but we'll just recap. Repetition is the key to success here, and we'll move on. So let's get to the skin. All right, as you can see, I'm in the garage now and it is super dark, so I'm just gonna do this little area here and talk about AMMO skin. Right off the bat, AMMO skin is a synthetic paint sealant. Now, a bunch of one of my other videos, when I think we talked about either the 996 or the Mercedes that had the bleach on it, we talked about the difference between synthetic wax and carnauba wax, so go back and check that out. Synthetic sealant is much stronger because it's made in a lab. Like, we chemically formulate these things to be stronger on the paint. Carnauba wax is much shinier, it's much brighter, it's much, has more depth, we call it, because it's actually made from the earth. It's non-synthetic. So it comes from a leaf. Generally speaking, they call it Brazilian because it comes from a leaf in Brazil, and there's wax on it, and there's a whole other thing. We have videos on that. But so what I'm reiterating here is this is synthetic sealant, much stronger, much tougher. Maybe not as bright and brilliant as the carnauba wax, but in the winter, this is something you want to do. I'll show you how to use mine specifically. Now, the big difference when it comes to sealants, at least in my mind, when I was creating this, was I wanted it super strong. The last thing I was really worried about was how easy it went on and how easy it went off. I know that's a concern for most people. This works, but it was very low on the totem pole of importance for me. I'm just being honest. The thing that was most important is I wanted it to be strong, number one. Number two is I wanted it to be layerable. So once you put one on, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, and you take it off, you can put more layers on top of it. Now, I was out at SEMA a couple of weeks ago, and Mike Phillips from AutoGeek.net is a buddy of mine, and we were chatting over drinks or whatever, and he said something, and I use it forever, and I think somebody said it to him years ago, but basically it's this: use what you like and use it often. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm gonna keep saying that probably for the rest of my life. Use what you like. It doesn't have to be AMMO, whatever. Use whatever it is that makes you feel good, but the key is to use it often. So there's not this miracle thing that we see a lot now in this industry where you just have some miracle product, you put it on, you don't have to touch it for 50 years, and you can shoot laser beams at it and whatever. It doesn't work that way, believe me. So you don't have to use this. Use whatever it is that you want off the shelf. Great. If it makes you happy, use it. The trick is to use it often. So my big thing, the number two thing, is I wanted it to be layerable because I believe, I subscribe to that, where I want to do things often. That's the key. This sort of new age mentality of, you know, pop a pill and everything's on, now I'm super strong and I can fly and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work that way. So that kind of translates into detailing. Anyways, let me get back into this. Enough of my soapbox. This is how you use AMMO skin or any other sealant that you're comfortable with. So I have a nice clean surface here. I clayed it up. That's a big factor. You want to clay it so that all the synthetic sealant goes into the pores. Remember we talked about the skin has paint has, just like skin, it's got pores, it breathes, the whole thing. You want to get in there and kind of have it solid. So what I do, you always shake it up, open it up, put about that much on there. Wow, it's really snowing now. And then what I do is I butterfly it. Watch. It didn't really look like a butterfly, but you can see it kind of looks like a butterfly. And then I'll do half a section right here. So I'll just do this for now. And now a lot of people ask me, you know, what's your deal about not doing circles? And I think it kind of got blown out of proportion, but I love that you guys are really into everything I'm saying, so that's cool. Circles, I try to avoid circles as much as possible. The reason behind that is if for some unforeseen circumstance that there's a bit of dirt in here, or something flies on here, and a bug or whatever, and it's hard, and I'm sitting here talking to you, or I'm doing whatever, watching TV, or whatever it is that you're doing, you're not paying attention, and it gets stuck in the pad. And then if you're doing circles just like this, and you get that thing in there and you cause a scratch, statistically, or maybe not statistically, but just from a detailing standpoint, getting out circle scratches is 10 times harder than getting out normal scratches, straight line scratches. It's just what it is. So can you, in theory, go like this all day long, like I'm doing? Yeah, if you want to do circles, go crazy, do circles. I'm only making the point for you guys to think about. If you're doing a really rare car, especially like the ones I was doing, the $1 million Ferrari or whatever it is I'm doing, if I can lower the percentage of making a mistake on the car by 1% or even 0.5%, I'm going to take it, because I can't afford to repaint a $1 million car. It's not going to happen. I'll be out of business. So you have to, that's what's going on in my head. So can you do circles? You can do circles all day long if you'd like. I don't. I do straight lines just because it's a good habit to get into. All right, so now we have it on this little area. And the big thing is, with Carnauba wax, you can wax the entire car, let it sit, go to lunch, go on vacation, come back and take it off, and it'll be perfectly fine. That's what's kind of cool about Carnauba wax, amongst other things. Sealant, you want to give it a certain amount of time, because especially mine, it just sticks to the clear coat. So the longer you let it sit, the stronger the bond is going to be. Now, some of you I know leave it overnight and things like that, but make sure you clay the car before you do it. And a big tip, you can't leave this overnight for 6, 7, 8 hours or whatever overnight, and leave it outside. You can't do that. Doesn't make sense. A couple of people have called me, and it's a good heads up. I failed to mention that. You don't want to put this out there, because this is going to be, like, the top is going to be pretty sticky and soft. So if you put it outside and it's windy and something gets on it, it's going to harden in there. You don't want that at all. So the big thing is clay the car beforehand. And if you do leave it overnight, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I know a lot of you guys do, very cool. It's going to be hard to get off, which we talked about. No, that's the last or least of my concerns. Just use a little spit spray wax. It'll come right off. But the big thing is, don't leave it outside, because little particles will get on it. And if you leave it indoors, just make sure you're not, doing construction or something crazy. Just be aware that this is going to be very receptive to catching things, and then once it hardens, it's kind of a pain in the butt to remove. That's a quick tip for you there. So I let this sit for roughly a minute and a half. Take my microfiber towel. Notice I folded it into 4. See, it's a little bit more cushiony. So if I see guys out at the car shows and they're wiping cars like this, my brain explodes. You don't want to do that. So we'll fold it into 4s like this. All right, and you can just break. The first swipe is breaking the surface tension. That's what we call breaking the surface tension. That's just the top little layer of this is gonna come off. So let me just get that. You can feel it's kind of sticky, which is great. All right, and then next I flip it over, nice clean side, and then I kind of buff it to a nice shine. So what I'll do is I'll let that, let's say if I just want to do 1 layer. So I'll do 1 layer and then go off and do whatever and go to sleep and enjoy my day. And then if I want to come back, what I'll do is either put another layer of Carnauba wax on top of it, which I do right before I go to a show. That's why the cars look amazing. That's another tip. Or if I'm not really going out and I just want to keep building layers, I'll put another layer of AMMO skin on it. It's got to be 24 hours in between the two of them. And what you'll see is you'll just constantly building up layers and layers of protection. I don't know about a bunch of you guys out there, but in the Army, what they do with the toes of their shoes is they put, you never see the really shiny ones? That's just thin layers of polish, thin layers of polish, thin layer on top, on top, on top. And that's how they build that shine. It's not just overnight. And I'm sure most of you have seen in Discovery Channel shows or whatever, they make them do their Army boots forever and ever and ever. And it symbolizes like tiny bits of layers, and as they build up, it increases that thickness, and the light bounces off of it and basically gives you a lot more shine. Anyways, this is what I did to this car. It's looking good. I've been rambling for a while. Thanks for watching, and the tire cleaner's coming out soon, and I'm really stoked about that. If you have any questions, of course, shoot me an email at larry@ammonyc.com. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.